God does not create men and leave them to suffer. He does not make a thing and leave it at the mercy of the enemies. He is a covenant keeper. He is forever mindful of all that concerns you, your family, your life, and your destiny. Once He creates a thing, He gives life and His Spirit, and you are allowed to reign in that domain and influence. What happens most times is that we lose sight of what He has given us and where He has called us to, and begin to chase things that do not matter. We begin to go after mundane things. God wants to bless you with an unusual blessing and good things pressed down and running over. This is what God is set to do for you in this season. Stir up your mind, believe it, and you shall be a partaker of this usual flow of abundance, of blessing from God. If you do not believe, you might see it, but would not be part of those enjoying it. Therefore, believe this good news from God, and you would see it and partake of it. Whatever is your challenge, or whatever seems difficult that has defied all human solution and help, God is stepping in today, and He would orchestrate an unusual overflow in your life. You would see it and partake in it. You will not be cut off or deleted. As an oracle of God, I announce an overflowing abundance from the court of heaven for you. You would see it at your side soon. It will not be delayed any longer. Whenever you give thanks to God, you have connected to the unlimited source from heaven, and all things would flow ceaselessly. When Jesus was on earth, men, women, and children followed Him to hear the good news. At one of those outings and tours, they followed Him, and Jesus observed that they were tired and hungry. The Bible records that the men alone were about 5,000 in number. He asked them all to sit and asked His disciples what they had and could give the people. They replied that it would be difficult to feed all the people. Instead, Jesus should send them off to their homes. But He said no. They were able to get 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish from a little boy in their midst. Jesus collected it, looked up to heaven, and blessed it. The bread and fish was sufficient that remnants were gathered. But that was not where it ended. They were able to pack 12 baskets with the leftovers. This is an unusual miracle from God. In overflow from the bank, heaven was unleashed. Jesus connected to the bank, and all were filled to their satisfaction. God is about to use that small resources in your hands for your lifting. He would magnify that little resource in your hands. For that small resource in your hands, a lot shall be done and achieved. That small resource in your hands is your seed that would multiply and bear plenty. It is time for you to connect to the bank and courts of heaven and see how that little seed in your hands shall be magnified. Jesus did it and is still doing it today. Like the little boy, hand over the small you have in your hands to Him and watch Him multiply it. It is time to sow that small as a seed. This is the mystery of overflowing supply. You must sacrifice or offer the small seed you have to be connected to the fountain and bank of heaven. Your seed would die and another would come through it. This is what happens when you sow the little you have in your hand to God. Sow those little resources you have in your hand. Give out that little you have to God and the work of God, and watch and see how the unusual, overflowing supply would come. The little you have would not have achieved these, but because you have sown that small seed, that small resource, you have opened and connected to the fountain that causes abundance to flow from the throne room of God. Key into these and access your reams of unceasing, overflowing supply. We have been commanded to sow seeds, and that is the way we can open up that unusual overflow. It would be struck open for us, and it would not close. Sow your seeds like the farmer. Sow your seeds now, and you would be amazed at the measure of flow that would come in from your harvest. Start doing it now. Start doing it today. God does not need your resources or seed. It is just a principle to get the gates of the bank of heaven open to you. It operates like the natural farm system on earth. It operates like our sowing and reaping system. You would need to sow a seed down to cause the bank of heaven to be open for you. Are you willing and ready to enter that season and ream of the unusual overflow of all things? Then you must sow that seed that is in your hand. Do this today, and the doorway of the bank of heaven would be opened for you. Welcome to the season of unusual overflow.
When people break away from your life for no reason, you can trust the Lord that it's His way of removing what needs to be removed in your life. You are going to meet people that would matter, people that would help you become a better you. It's going to be difficult, but every good thing that happens in life comes with a lot of sacrifices. You must be separate from certain people in the process of shaping you into something big. God would be removing you from places that would stop and hinder this growth. Remove you from places that would be harmful to you, places that would prevent your glory from shining. It's possible you lose your job in this process and you're feeling bad. Be of good cheer. God is shaping you into something big, calling you to a bigger office, something you never expected, meeting people you never thought you would meet professionally. God's plans for you are always mighty, and He does for you far above your thoughts. As you go through this process, it would feel as if you're all on your own, and the devil would make you feel God has abandoned you. Trust me, it's all his ways of stopping you from reaching the final destination of your breakthrough, and you cannot let him have that victory. The way you see the challenges that you're going through, it's the way it works out for you.